Hey guys, welcome to the Drama Club. On this week's episode, we talk about some rapper drama, including Kanye West suing Jay-Z's Roc-a-Fella Records, and then May tells the story of surviving R. Kelly. Stay tuned.
What up, fam? It's good, y'all. Feels good, right? Yeah, I know it do. And without further ado, we broadcasting live from CA to NY.
Did you hear that the government shutdown might affect 90 Day Fiancé?
No, why?
Because it might slow down the visa processing, and then they're not going to have cast members for next season.
Oh, that's funny. It's true. Immigration's all like on stall. Arthur was telling me like the courts just aren't taking hearings, so everybody's case is just kind of like at a standstill. Yeah. Well, was telling me that his one of his professors was talking about like the issue with another fucking professor who is like, I don't know, something to do with animals, and that they were concerned, like all these scientists were concerned regarding like if there was a wall put up, there's a lot of animals that cross the border to get water on the US side. And so the wall would like affect them.
Oh, yeah.
They die and stuff.
For sure. Whenever possible, you don't want to put up something in the middle of like an ecological
A desert. Yeah.
So let's get this shit started. Hello, my name is May.
And hello, my name is Stephanie, and we are the Drama Club.
Yes. We bring you your weekly dose of drama, bullshit, fucking gossip,
scandals.
Yeah.
Our lives.
Our lives, sometimes a little bit. All from people who know just as much as you do.
We watch the same shit as you guys, and we just talk about it some more.
Yeah, so lesson here is that you could do it too.
Yep.
I don't know.
We would listen.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so something that happened this week, which was pretty interesting, is that Kanye West is suing Jay-Z's label Roc-a-Fella Records and EMI.
That's drama right there.
Because they were hella homies.
Yeah.
So Kanye is indicating that he's owed money based off his recording agreements from like the early 2000s.
Wow.
And allegedly a lot of the suit has already been redacted because he had put a bunch more in there.
But this is funny to me because Jay-Z's company via Tidal, they had that scandal last year where they were inflating the numbers to overpay a handful of artists, including Kanye, including Beyonce. So, I mean, like, he was getting his paper one way or another. And then B, anti-lawyer says that Kanye is broke, like beyond broke.
Well, he even alludes to that in his tweets. Do you remember like a few years ago where he was like, I need more money to be able to be more creative?
Yeah, because he dumped all his money into Yeezy.
Yeah.
Into the creation of his fashion line. And that shit doesn't make that kind of money, you know?
Of course not. Like the market for Yeezy is so small.
Right.
You know, and then you're not going to make your money back, especially like the way that he wants to make money on the level he wants to make money.
Exactly. And luckily, you know, Kim is a powerhouse. She's making money, but I don't think she's sharing her money with him like that. Like, obviously,
I don't either.
You know, they're where they live and stuff, sure, but not
their
like
accounts are separate for sure.
Yeah, not his personal wealth like that. So he's in the hole big time, and from what I understand, he owes Jay-Z a lot of money. So
that's funny.
This is kind of like, I feel like if this is some shots fired, then we're going to hear a lot more about that.
Yeah, for sure. And remember, like, the early Yeezys were so limited release, and that's why they were so hard to get. And then, like, the later ones, now that he's kind of desperate for money, he's like, a Yeezy for everyone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can fucking pick these ones up at Foot Locker and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. If Yeezy was making any money at all, it was usually in the secondary market, which doesn't affect his bag in the slightest.
Right, it's all resale.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the market price is like straight $250, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't think he thought through the fashion investment. Well, I think that he Well, who does he always compare himself to? Like Steve Jobs and like Walt
Bill
Disney
Gates
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like, I'm an artist. I want to like, I want to be the Da Vinci of our time. Like, I want to be able to do fashion and music and like fucking paint. Does he paint? I'm sure he does. I'm sure he tried.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he has a little Jim Carrey studio. in
Oh,
his
for
house and
sure. There's
shit.
like a sculpture in it of like a shoe.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of pictures of naked Kim, like in watercolors,
Yeah.
oil painting. Her face is distorted.
So I think that, he's trying all these different forms of art, and I think that fashion was the one thing where he was like, "Oh, I could maybe do this.
Yeah,
I could
and
put
he
together
could.
I could put together some post-apocalyptic clothing. I could do this. Looking like Mad Max.
Yeah.
I could sell some bike shorts."
The bike short thing was so weird to me. I was thinking about that because Kim, like, her body is so voluptuous
Mhm.
that she really like looks best in form-fitting clothes.
Yeah.
But the high-end like couture fashion is not made for bodies like that.
Right.
It's made for like stick figure women, you know?
Mhm.
They essentially hangers.
Right.
So like she never looks like she's never gonna be that level of like fashion icon just because it doesn't look good on her.
And remember,
So then they put her in fucking bike shorts for like 3 years, which I thought was like, what the fuck is this?
remember when Anna Wintour was like, "No, she will not be on the cover of Vogue for like
Yeah, seriously.
years." No,
Seriously.
no. And then finally, for her wedding, they put her on there with Kanye.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was a move. And
Yeah.
people didn't like that, remember?
Yeah.
And Anna Wintour had to make a statement even.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's probably like a little mini scandal.
Oh, like for an afternoon delight.
Yeah, maybe. I hadn't even thought of that.
There's a lot of little mini scandals
In Vogue?
in Vogue. Like remember when Giselle and LeBron James were on the cover?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Side note, who is Balsamic Slut on Twitter?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Decline. It says he's followed by Mig and Jazzy.
Oh, I know. That's
Jeremy?
Balsamic Slut.
Yo. I love a good balsamic vinegar.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, guys, I think I've lasted like a whole year, and I think it's time for me to cut my bangs again.
Bang drama. Or fringe, as they say in certain circles, right?
Ooh, you
Fringe.
international, baby. You just came back from Canada feeling real spicy. We had crisps for lunch. I watched Bridget Jones' Diary. Had some fucking tea.
Oh, I'm having tea right now.
Cut my fringe. I hate tea.
Really?
Tea's whack.
Nah,
Yeah.
tea is good. It's like a very soothing.
It's so fucking whack.
What the fuck? Tea is so cute, especially if you
It's so cute.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I
What-
don't need my drink to be cute.
What if you get one of those that like you put it in the clear kettle and it like blooms and shit? That shit is
Yeah.
delightful.
Mm-hmm. Hook me up with a Gatorade.
Oh no. Gatorade is gross, dude. Only those frosty flavors are good.
Those are so bomb. I never drink Gatorade just after like a really long run. Even then, I don't know.
Even then,
Water.
coconut water, baby. That's the new Gatorade.
No.
That's what the wellness industry is trying to sell us.
Yeah. Like fucking jungle people have not been drinking that shit for years and years. Wishing they had basic ass filtered water.
I'd rather be in the jungle drinking a straight up coconut than like filtered tap water.
No, it's bad for you. You'll become dehydrated eventually. Remember that show Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
I remember a couple was stranded on some sort of like island or some shit, and there was a coconut tree, and they kept drinking the coconut water, but they were like fucking dying. They're like, we need regular water.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's just not enough.
And then on top of that, I saw the tape at the studio with a whole bunch of other people. And I was just like, he's going to jail. I saw it, I was like, he's going to jail. And then when I heard he was denying, I was like, what? How can you deny that? That's just like me saying, oh, that's not me on that swing in the No Scrubs video. It's not me. I mean, come on.
All right, guys. I got a story for you.
Ooh, kill him. I haven't seen this show, so I'm excited.
Okay. It's in the news. and it's all about a Mr. R. Kelly. Da, da, da. This asshole over here.
I heard his music listens went up after this show aired.
That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah. Did they use his songs in the show?
They show like a couple of YouTube clips of a couple of songs.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so this one is a request from our listener and supporter, Monica, aka Diamond Girl 7 on Instagram. So thank you for requesting this, Monica. And yeah, just keep requesting stuff, guys, because you never know. We might just do that shit. Okay, so of course, for this, I watched the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly. And I also relied on a timeline of events from NPR, which is very useful, and the various Wikipedias. For those of you who don't know, Steph is doing some ASMR bullshit right now.
Could you hear it?
Yeah, I heard like the
my-
unwrapping of the thing.
My bad. I'm about to eat a Reese's, guys. My life is in shambles.
Look at me, a classy ass bitch drinking tea. Stephanie eating a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Hungover and eating Reese's. Whatever. Tell the story, May.
Okay. Robert Sylvester Kelly was born on January 8th.
Sylvester? Wait. I didn't know that was his middle name.
Robert Tweety Bird Kelly. Robert Sylvester Kelly was born on January 8th, 1967. An unhappy birthday to you, sir, in Hyde Park, Chicago. P.S. Is R. Kelly Irish?
I know. What the
Right?
hell?
How do you end up with
Yeah.
that last name? He's got to be Irish.
He's a Pied Piper.
Is the Pied Piper Irish?
I think so.
Huh. Okay. I tried to do some research, but no one really, goes into it. But, I don't know what to think. Anyway, he was...
The Pied Piper's German, just by the way.
Ooh, the Pied Piper is almost scarier if he's German.
Yeah.
Some about German people are scary. Heidi Klum.
Hitler.
Yup. Those two are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he was the third of 4 children, and his mother was a singer, but his father was absent throughout his life. The family lived in public housing, and they unfortunately lived in poverty. Because his mother had to work hard to support her children, she was often away from home, which led to Robert and at least one of his siblings being continuously sexually abused by at least one trusted older woman throughout his childhood.
It was a woman that abused him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I saw literally just one source that said it was his older sister.
Oh, wow.
But I hesitate to say that as fact because it was just one source.
And his brother does say that he was abused
Yeah,
too, right?
so it's not bullshit. That happened.
That for sure happened to him, yeah.
Robert says in his autobiography that the shame and humiliation surrounding this abuse compelled him to keep it a secret for a long time.
Right.
Meanwhile, he found that he had a talent for music when he began singing in his church by age 8. He states in his autobiography that around this time, he had his first girlfriend. However, the little girl died one day when she and Robert were roughhousing with some older children, and one of them ended up pushing her into some water where she drowned.
Oh my gosh.
That, I almost feel like, could that be like one of those stories that people make up about themselves, though?
I guess nobody else has ever
Right.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
people like to sensationalize their life. It is hella, but I mean, shit like that does happen.
But I'm thinking, like, he said it was in a creek, and didn't they live in Chicago? I'm not familiar with Chicago, but, like, are there
don't
creeks
know.
in the middle of Chicago?
I hope it's not real. That would be.
Mm-hmm.
But then, what does that say about him?
Yeah, right.
I'd rather a little girl not drown. So,
At age 11, he was shot in the shoulder while riding his bike in his neighborhood.
God damn.
Isn't this a wild life?
Yeah.
So needless to say, things were far from easy for young Robert.
Yeah.
And on top of everything, he's sadly and infamously mostly illiterate, as he displayed a difficulty for grasping the ability to read and write well from the time he was very young. However, aside from his aptitude for music, Robert was also a gifted basketball player with aspirations to go pro. But his high school music teacher believed so much in his musical gift that she really pushed him to focus less on basketball and more on music. I will say that I've heard many, many guys in LA and Atlanta talk about how R. Kelly loves to drop into the local gyms and shoot hoops and shit. And they, without fail, all talk about how his entourage lets him win to a degree that's super embarrassing. Like, they'll fake fall over when he crosses them up and shit.
Remember when John Hamm's on 30 Rock and he's like the worst tennis player?
Yes.
But he thinks he's the best because everybody lets him win because he's so hot?
Yeah, it's like that, except R. Kelly's not hot.
Oh, man's not hot.
Man's not hot. So I saw this one guy tweet that he knew that R. Kelly was capable of everything he's accused of because after watching him play basketball with his homies, he knew that he was surrounded by enablers, which I get it. That's, yeah. If you're surrounded by people who are straight up doing that, then definitely. In 1989, he joined a singing group called MGM, Musically Gifted Men.
Oh, nice.
And they won a TV talent show and a $100,000 grand prize.
Holy crap.
Dude, can you imagine getting that? You're this poor motherfucker who can't read, can't write, got shot when he was 11, fucking lost his baby ass girlfriend in a creek.
Sucks at basketball. Yeah.
And you win $100,000.
That's fucking amazing.
So they dropped a single and quickly broke up, but they made enough connections so that Robert could land a record deal with Jive in 1991, where he joined a group called Public Announcement. So they basically went as R. Kelly and Public Announcement. So they released an album in 1992 called Born into the 90s that produced a slew of R&B hits that I've never heard of, including She's Got That Vibe and Honey Love.
Ooh.
I wanted to hear what these songs sounded like, but obviously I'm team #mute R. Kelly, so I didn't play them. But I really want to know what She's Got That Vibe sounds like.
Me too.
That sounds like a banger. That's a cool thing to say to a girl too, though.
Fuck
like,
yeah,
you got that
awesome.
vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess they made some waves on the R&B charts, but nevertheless, they broke up by January 1993. And by November 1993, R. Kelly had released his first solo album, 12 Play, which eventually went 6 times platinum and included the 90s bop, I Don't See Nothing Wrong with a little
bump and grind.
For a while, I kept thinking that we saw Holly Madison dance to this in Peep Show when we were in Vegas.
No, but it was the other one.
It was Genuine Pony. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God.
So that's exactly what I was like. Thank God Genuine is unproblematic as far as I know, because that was a fucking bop.
That is a bop. I like that song more than Bump and Grind.
Yeah, me too. Because honestly, I don't really, outside of like, I don't know, maybe 5 songs, I don't really fuck with R. Kelly like that. But
he was fucking hot though.
He's a good,
for a minute.
He's a good like songwriter
really
and but so I truly have no problem with replacing R. Kelly with Genuine. Like, can we let Genuine release a remix to the remix to Ignition? Because I'm ready. Anyway, so the success of 12 Play made 27-year-old R. Kelly one of the most in-demand writers-producers of the era.
Damn. But so he isn't illiterate.
He is illiterate.
But he still writes his own songs?
Yeah. You don't need to be able to, you can record yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck,
how you remember it though?
In Surviving R. Kelly, his first wife's, or not his first wife, but his ex-wife says that she really fell in love with him because he was really like, because he was, probably well into his 30s at that point, and he was like really down on himself about not being able to read and write, and she said that she really sat down and tried to help him.
She was on that show?
Yeah.
She was on Famous Exes on VH1.
That's is that like, that's different from like a Love and Hip Hop type thing?
Yes.
Huh.
That one was good. You know who else was on that one? Was Shayna Moakler.
Really? Was it House? Were they living together or something? What?
No, and also Nicole Murphy Mitchell or whatever.
Eddie Murphy's, yeah.
Yeah, she was on that. That show was good.
What were they doing? It was like
it was like
a Housewives type thing.
Yeah, like they would get together and like fight and shit. Talk about their exes.
Get together and fight.
Yep,
Okay, so he's one of the most in-demand producers of the era, and if like you listen to his music and stuff, it's very well produced, and like he obviously is very talented in that arena.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a now 14-year-old Aaliyah had also been signed to Jive Records for a couple of years and was in need of collaborators for her debut album. R. Kelly took her under his wing and she became his protege, writing and producing her hit debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, featuring her breakthrough motherfucking bop, Back and Forth.
Hell yeah. I love Aaliyah. Did you see that Pop Sugar thing that was like, who do you look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept getting Aaliyah. I was like, this is the nicest thing anybody's
That's
ever said to
tight.
me.
I can see it. You guys have the same face shape. You know who I kept getting? Solange, which is the same thing I always get on all of those stupid little things, which I feel
Really?
I feel like I don't look anything like her. But literally every one of those things, they always say I look like Solange.
I just heard a song by Solange that I thought was a bop.
I hate to be that person, but I like her music almost more than Beyonce's.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I know.
You don't hate to be that person. You love being that person.
No, I hate
You're
being-
always that person.
I'm always that person. Yeah, but I don't know. She's very talented, and I just want to be on her in her corner.
I fucking hate Cranes in the Sky. That song's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I only like 2 of her songs. I Decided and what is this? Losing You. Sounds really good.
I like Don't Touch My Hair because people be touching my hair. So anyway, yeah, Back and Forth is another song that fucking goes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep it 100 for you and tell you that for sure Aaliyah would have fallen off by the mid-2000s. Because we've got case in point, Maya, because where the fuck is Maya? And if Maya didn't make it into the 20-teens, Aaliyah wouldn't have either.
You don't think so? I feel like people stand for Aaliyah more than they do for Maya, but maybe that's because she's gone.
Because she's gone, exactly.
Yeah.
So I several of her soundtrack songs were fucking bops. And my favorite Aaliyah song, or like one of them is We Need a Resolution. Like
that song is so fucking good.
That song has a lot of potential, I think, for like what she could have been doing in the 2000s. But
well, that's what I'm saying, because she was hooking up with Timbaland and Missy at that time. You don't think she would have ridden that wave?
No, because even Timbaland and Missy fell off for a while.
But not like that early on in the 2000s, because Justin's CD with Timbaland, that wasn't early 2000s, was it?
That must have been like 03, 04 maybe. Anyway, so R. Kelly immediately falls for Aaliyah. He's basically obsessed with her. He's all over her album. There's barely a song that you don't hear him on. He's on the cover of her album staring at this child from afar like a fucking creep.
That is fucking weird.
He doesn't let her out of his sight. She told Vibe magazine in 1994 that they'd go out to watch a movie, then go eat, then go back in the studio and work. Like they were basically together 24/7. They start doing interviews together and dressing alike and shit. And it's fucking weird and people begin to notice.
Yeah. How old was R. Kelly at this point?
27. They do interviews where they're asked to comment about their relationship, and Aaliyah always brushes it off and says that they're, quote, best friends.
Yeah, she always said that, huh?
And that people are, quote, taking it the wrong way. And for the most part, yeah, there are whispers, but I think most people accept that explanation because no one wants to believe that this sort of thing could be happening, especially out in the open like that.
Yeah.
Which I kind of understand because, like, we've been seeing a lot of that lately, particularly, like, with politics right now, where there's a lot of crimes happening out in the open and people are like, really? Is this even illegal? Like, if this is happening, witness coercion out in the open and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It makes you question if what you're seeing with your eyes is actually happening.
Right.
So whatever's going on between them is largely ignored by the public, which is a shame. And in society's defense, part of the publicity around Aaliyah was this thing that I don't think could happen today because we have the internet. But she and her people created this sort of thing where she was very coy about her age. Like no one in the public knew exactly how old she was and she wasn't telling.
Right.
So they would ask her in interviews like, how old are you? And she'd be like, oh, I don't know. I could be 17. I could be 14. Yeah. I could be 18. Like it was fucking weird. In the recent Lifetime documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, one of his former background dancers claims that she walked in on R. Kelly having sex with Aaliyah in the back of their tour bus. So she must have been around 14 at that time, and
he's 27.
And he's 27. For what it's worth, Aaliyah's mom claims that that didn't happen because she says that she was with her all the time. So she was like, there's no way that R. Kelly was having sex with her.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's enough evidence to know that it's not true that she was never alone with him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like,
so I don't know. I tend to believe the people who were there on the bus. But yeah.
me too.
Okay. And a member of R. Kelly's entourage repeats a claim that he's made several times over the years that at one point Robert came to him on the verge of tears because he just found out that Aaliyah was pregnant. This dude, Demetrius Smith, also now claims responsibility, although he's very remorseful about it, for supplying Aaliyah with forged documents alleging that she was 18 to allow her on August 31st, 1994, to marry 27-year-old R. Kelly in Chicago, despite her being only 15 at the time.
That's fucking crazy.
6 months after the release of Age Ain't None But a Number.
Yeah. Then the title of that album too.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Why? And like you said, R. Kelly calls himself the Pied Piper. Like this
I
is
know,
just
it's
some
fucking creepy.
these are crimes happening out in the open,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it harder to come to terms with.
Yeah. Like I remember when I was like in high school, I had a friend that shoplifted.
Mhm.
And she would always say, like, you just gotta be confident. Like she wouldn't even try to hide shit. She's like, if you just
Yeah.
walk out with it, nobody's gonna stop you.
Right? They're gonna
'Cause
be like,
it's they're not gonna be like, that person didn't pay for that. That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yes, exactly.
And she would just straight up hold shit in her hand and like walk out. She'd be like, they're not gonna stop me.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
If you look like fucking shady, like of course.
Yeah.
Demetrius says that at the wedding, Aaliyah looked, quote, worried and scared the whole time. Where are all the what's up with these adults just standing around letting this shit fucking happen?
I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything about her parents, but where are her parents?
Where are her parents? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think it's hard to be a parent in this situation because this is the thing that your child wants more than anything, you know, to be
Right.
famous, to be this singer, celebrity. And it's almost like you want to do anything for your child. And I think that you think that this is the way to do it.
Yeah. And I think when you put a child into a celebrity life like that, they become an individual much faster than they would have, you know,
Yeah.
just regular growing up. So I
Mhm.
think parents tend to give them more space than they would have, and maybe
Right.
more than they fucking should.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I could see why you would do that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. That's actually the surviving R. Kelly thing is 6 hours because there are
God damn.
so many women have so many stories to tell. And it's like that was the thing that most kept running through my mind through every story. Where are your parents? Where are your
Right.
parents? Why are your parents letting this happen to you? Because I tell you one thing, my parents sure as shit would not let that shit happen to me.
Fuck no, I couldn't do anything, man. No, my parents right there. Remember that awful story, Nonson, that she wanted to go roller skating and
Oh,
her dad
yeah.
had to go with her?
Yeah. He was there just staring.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Oh my God. When Aaliyah's family found out about the marriage, oh, did you hear that thing in the news where it was Beyonce and Solange's dad? What's his name? Matthew?
Yeah, what about him?
This week he told a little story about R. Kelly too. He said that when Destiny's Child met R. Kelly when they were very young, we're talking like 15, 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
He told them like, hey, let's go to this club later, like just you guys, like not your parents or whatever. And he said like he physically got in between them, like, and he was like,
Good.
nope, go.
Good.
And he was like, that was the last that should ever happen.
Fuck.
So that guy has a lot of problems. Matthew has a lot of problems, but
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He protected his daughters.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so when Aaliyah's family found out about the marriage, they forced her to have it annulled. And the annulment was completed just a few months later. You know, I remember I saw the Lifetime movie, and I remember there being like drama about this. Like, she was like, but I love him, whatever.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
But I saw that movie like a year ago. I don't remember like the details of it, but yeah, there was a lot of like, no, like she was very upset about it.
Holy shit.
For the most part, the public reaction to the story was just like, huh, like that's weird. And like then everybody just moved on.
Oh my gosh, man.
In May of 1997, Aaliyah petitioned the court to have the wedding expunged because of her age at the time. Her management talks about how her career suffered as a result of the marriage. Apparently, no one wanted to work with her after this, despite the fact that she just come off of a platinum debut album. So there was a lot of victim blaming going on here.
Wow, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like the people were like, why would you get involved with a grown ass man? And like,
What the fuck?
luckily, Missy and Timbaland came in and went all out for her and produced her next album, which really got her back on her feet. Meanwhile, Aaliyah would never speak of R. Kelly in public or in private again. Questions about him were off limits in interviews, and if you asked her about it privately, she just changed the subject.
Oh, wow.
Damon Dash, who was engaged to Aaliyah at the time of her death,
Yeah.
just disclosed that he had tried to get her to talk about him, but that all she would say was that he was a, quote, bad man,
Oh, no.
and that she could only bring herself to speak about him with a professional counselor present.
Oh, shit.
So that's
Scary.
But
But you know what?
scary.
He like produced that album for her, right? So he totally groomed her.
Yeah,
He made
for
her
sure.
think like, oh, age ain't nothing but a number. Like
Mhm.
what we're doing isn't wrong.
Yep, exactly.
You know, like like made her fall in love with him. Probably made all these promises.
And probably like said, I love you so much, I could make you a star. And look, that shit fucking happened.
I know.
know?
Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, of course,
Yeah.
that's sad. I didn't know Damon Dash has said that. I feel so sad every time I hear Damon Dash talk about Aaliyah.
Yeah.
He really loved her.
Right. And it's like, who knows what would have happened in the future, but when someone's taken away from you when you in the middle of that shit, like when you love someone
You'll
so much.
always
Yeah.
think about them and like that fondness.
Yeah. So Dame Dash says that obviously, based on the pieces of information that he had from what was generally known in the media, and also, that iciness and that sadness that Aaliyah would, even though she wouldn't tell him anything, like you could, it was obvious if she was like,
Right.
I can only talk about this with a counselor,
Yeah.
Like he says that based off of all that he refused to work with R. Kelly. Although you do see Dame dancing with a bottle of Chris on the Fiesta video.
Because he's with Jay and Hova did the, what is that? Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And then that ended abruptly. Are you going to get into that?
Yeah, I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
But is that an excuse though? Like, why is he working with this dude?
No.
But he now says, this is new, he said this a couple weeks ago, that he only appeared in that video because Aaliyah told him to. So do with that information what you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, now he's trying to say like, oh no, I've been not working with him, like whatever. He said you don't see my name in the liner notes of any of those like Best of Both Worlds albums and like.
Well, maybe you don't.
But I don't know. But now Dame is on record as saying that this as in the R. Kelly situation was the catalyst for the demise of his relationship with Jay-Z and the end of Roc-a-Fella Records.
Oh, wow.
Dame says that he knew at this point that he was just morally different from Jay because he claims he went to Jay and said, how could you work with this dude knowing that he raped my girl? Especially because before she was dating Dame, she was super casually dating Jay, and Dame allegedly went behind Jay's back to swoop in on Aaliyah. So Jay obviously liked Aaliyah, like they were homies and they were
Right.
friends. But Jay just looked the other way and made not one but 2 albums with R. Kelly.
Yeah, 2 big ass tours.
Yeah.
Aaliyah,
of course, tragically died in a plane crash in 2001. Her mother, Diane, said that everything that went wrong in her life began with her relationship with R. Kelly.
Oh, no.
R. Kelly had only said publicly that he and Aaliyah were deep friends until an interview for GQ in 2016 when he said, quote, well, because of Aaliyah's passing, as I've always said, out of respect for her mother who's sick and her father who's passed, I will never have that conversation with anyone. Out of respect for Aaliyah and her mother and father who asked me not to personally. But I can tell you I loved her. I can tell you she loved me. We was very close. Yeah, that's
Weird.
fucking weird. I think it's a sick thing to say still, to even be like, I loved her, she loved me. Just like,
Yeah,
don't fucking say anything.
I know. He's sick.
Mhm. It's a Pied Piper for you. In 1996, he crossed over with the huge hit, I Believe I Can Fly, from the Space Jam soundtrack,
Space Jam soundtrack.
which allowed him to become famous outside of R&B circles and connected him as a writer and producer to bigger artists and stars, such as a duet with Celine Dion and writing and producing You Are Not Alone for Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
When we were in Vancouver, we went to we went to a 90s club, and
I was thinking about that.
they played some song from the Space Jam soundtrack. I think it was Welcome to the Space Jam.
Yeah.
And there was a child next to us who was wearing a Space Jam jersey, like the Bugs Bunny jersey, the number 1. And as soon as that song came on, like we started hyping him up. We were like, hey,
whoa,
it's your song. And he like did not know what the fuck we were talking about.
Yeah, he was like, and then we were like, Joel or somebody was like, he doesn't know what's on.
Yeah, he has.
And then
no
you
idea.
asked him or something. You were like, do you know what song this is? And he was like, no.
I'm worried about the children. These like little posers.
How dare you put on that Bugs Bunny number 1 uniform if you don't even know his jam?
You know, I've never. You know how people are always like, you're wearing a Nirvana shirt and they're like, name 3 Nirvana songs. Like, I've always been like, go fuck yourself.
You.
Like,
I don't have to prove myself to you.
But I was unusually upset about this child wearing a fucking Bugs Bunny shirt.
The Space Jam.
Yeah.
That one hit hard.
I don't even like Space Jam.
You don't? That shit's
No.
sick, man.
We used to watch it on like rainy days in school. You know,
Yeah,
like when we
that's
couldn't
cute.
go out for recess, but like,
I love Space Jam.
So around this time, so this is right after Space Jam, he married Andrea Lee, who is now Andrea Kelly, his former backup dancer, who would ultimately become the mother to his 3 children. In 1998, he settled a lawsuit for $250,000 brought by Tiffany Hawkins, who alleges that he had sex with her when she was 15 and he was 24.
Oh, holy shit.
So now we've got, public record. We've got the Aaliyah marriage. We've got the settlement of that lawsuit. So people been knowing about R. Kelly since like 1998. Okay. On December 21st, 2000, the Chicago Sun-Times reporters Jim DeRogatis and Abdon Palish published a report that said that R. Kelly, who was 33 at the time, was meeting girls as young as 15 years old and coercing them into sex with him. This was a big story. If you watched MTV After School around this time like we did, of course you saw like
Kurt Loder.
Yeah, this is Kurt Loder with an MTV news brief. Like, and you like just fucking knew something big had gone down.
Yeah, I used to get hyped for those.
Yep. This story included testimony from at least 2 girls that alleged that R. Kelly went to the parking lot of his old high school to meet girls and just take them away.
That's disgusting.
According to the Sun-Times, by this point, Chicago police have investigated Kelly twice on suspicion of having sex with an underage girl, but dropped the investigations because the girl would not cooperate. When people put the story together with the public knowledge of his marriage to Aaliyah, I think this was the first time that people began to worry that this dude may be a predator.
Yeah.
But still, nothing came of it. The Sun-Times report is published within weeks of the release of his 5th album, TP2.com.
What? What? What is that?
That's the name of his album, TP2.com.
What is that, though?
Which goes, you'll recognize it right now, which goes to number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart due to hits like Feeling on Your Booty. Do you remember that song?
I like that song, yeah.
Was Lil Kim in the video?
Lil Kim in the video, and he's grabbing her ass all crazy. Your booty. Your booty.
That's the one. And I Wish. That was the other.
I wish. Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a little over a year since the Sun-Times expose, and it seems like R. Kelly has barely been affected by it. On February 8th, 2002, Chicago police announced that they have opened an investigation into R. Kelly's involvement with child pornography. And that same day, R. Kelly performs as part of the opening ceremony for the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City.
Whoa.
You know who was in charge of those Olympics? Mitt Romney. That's who I blame for this shit.
Whoa.
But I don't really expect Mitt Romney to know who R. Kelly is.
Yeah, you think he knows who R. Kelly is? He was like, hey, Will Smith has arrived. Fabulous.
I got binders full of R&B singers
blang,
and rappers.
blang.
My favorite thing, if you watch the Mitt documentary on Netflix, this was like, I want to say it was either during the election or right after it.
Right after.
He said, somebody asked him if he likes, what kind of sports he likes. And he said, I love sport.
Same. That's how I feel.
The police investigation begins as a result of an approximately 3-year-old videotape turned over by the Sun-Times, who they themselves had received anonymously, that appeared to depict R. Kelly having sex, aka raping, and doing a variety of lewd acts, including infamously urinating on a child in her early teens. The Sun-Times is doing God's work here. Like they've been investigating this motherfucker since like day fucking one.
Yeah. That's really scary.
R. Kelly's defense is that it was not him in the video. It wasn't me. And eventually, at trial years later, claims that it was his brother.
Oh my gosh.
Which,
that's a level of dirt I didn't know we were gonna get to.
In the documentary, his brother's like, fuck no, of course that shit's not me.
Yeah.
And then his other brother, who's doing the interview from jail, is like, I forget this brother's name who he tried to pin it on, but he was like, you know that R. Kelly offered him like $1 million music contract and a shot at doing like an album. And I don't know why he didn't take that shit. Like the brother that's in jail is like real shady.
Why is his brother in jail?
They don't say. But
shit.
But he says like one or two things that is, including this, where I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like he wanted to take his brother to take the fall for this for I think it was less than $1 million.
Why are you gonna protect R. Kelly?
Yeah, for what?
Just because he's the one out there making the money for them.
Meanwhile, he's in jail, so I'm sure he's not like, protecting him. Anyway. So R. Kelly tries to Shaggy, it wasn't me, but clearly it's him. Like it's like I don't understand. It's not HD because this was this video I think was from the late 90s.
This video came out, like you could see it.
Yeah, it's on the internet now, and
that's scary.
I remember it was out because I remember the famous Dave Chappelle shit.
Yeah.
But like it was people were selling bootleg copies of it on the street. So this was the thing that people were like, oh, have you seen his sex tape? Have you seen his sex tape? Meanwhile, it's
sex tape. It's rape.
It's rape. It's child porn. So this was a thing that was out in the open, and it still is on the internet. I had remembered when the story came out that it was clear that you could see his face, like that it was dumb that people were trying to say wasn't him.
Yeah.
So I tried to do a search of it, just like a still on the internet, because I wanted to see if I remembered it right. And you should have seen me like trying to like not look at stuff. Like I wanted to Google search just a still of his face, which was surprisingly hard to find.
Wow.
But I did see the still of his face, and it is fucking him.
Yeah.
So, quote, "It's crap, and that's how we're going to treat it," Kelly says in an interview held with a local TV station right before his Olympic performance. By June 2002, R. Kelly is indicted on 21 counts of child pornography, and he immediately posted bail. Meanwhile, he's dropping albums with Jay-Z and essentially going about his business. The state would also charge Kelly with an additional 12 counts of creating child pornography, alleging that during his arrest, police found a camera with new images showing sex with an underage girl. Those charges would be dropped after a judge found that the camera was improperly seized. 7 of the original 21 charges in Chicago would also be dropped in 2004 after prosecutors acknowledged those counts pertained to a law that wasn't passed until after the alleged taping.
Wow.
In early 2003, he drops his 6th album, Chocolate Factory, which includes the smash hit Ignition. He released another album with Jay-Z in 2004, which infamously led to a tour where Jay-Z allegedly punched him in the face. And later, Jay's cousin Ty Ty pepper sprayed R. Kelly, leading Jay to kick Robert off the tour, and Robert then suing Jay for $75 million.
Holy shit.
The suits were eventually thrown out. Because that tour was hella drama. Like, R. Kelly wasn't showing up for some stops, like, or sometimes he would stay in his tour bus until like 2 hours into the show and then try to come out and do like 15 minutes. And like, I think that's what led to Jay punching him in the face.
Yeah. Hov is pretty professional, actually. I like this picture of Jay and Puff Daddy. Look at these little suits. there.
Ooh, we should do that. We should be that for Halloween.
All right.
I like the tie pepper sprayed him though.
I know, that's awesome.
Okay, his wife Andrea filed a restraining order against him in 2005 and later filed for divorce in 2006.
Holy shit.
Between 2006 and 2008, he releases an album and a few hit songs, including I'm a Flirt and the duet with Usher, Same Girl, and featuring on songs by Kanye West, Mariah Carey, Beyonce, and more. So now it's May 2008, and his lawyers have spent 6 years postponing his trial, and he's picked up 6 Grammy nominations along the way.
Holy shit. I didn't even realize they were just like working on postponing that shit.
Yeah, because it's in his best interest for more and more time to go by so that the alleged victims, who are like young girls at the time of his arrest,
become
would look
older.
older. Yeah. And they had a lot of dumb luck with the postponement of the trial too. Like, it was a lot of them filing motions and stuff for postponements and whatever. But there were like a couple things like where the presiding judge fell off a ladder,
Oh,
and
shit.
like so he was out for like a month or something.
Oh, man. That's
And-
my favorite. I've been to a trial before where the trial got canceled because the judge was stuck in traffic. And I was like, yes.
Hey, snow day. And then another time, like one of the prosecutors had a baby, so that was like a few months that like she was out. So
Yeah.
he got fucking lucky. But finally, the trial begins in late spring. If convicted on all charges, R. Kelly faces the prospect of 15 years in prison. Like I said, some charges are thrown out due to the evidence being illegally obtained. Some charges are thrown out because the laws weren't in place at the time of the alleged crime. And in the infamous Piss video, he claims it wasn't him, and the little girl present in the video, who is positively identified by several witnesses, including friends, coaches, and her cousin, R&B singer, and former R. Kelly protege Sparkle, refuses to testify and denies that it's her that appears in the video.
Wow.
After 3 weeks of testimony and 1 day of deliberation, R. Kelly is found not guilty on all counts.
Holy shit.
When R. Kelly walks out of the Chicago courtroom a free man, he's greeted by dozens of supporters who stood outside of the courtroom every day to root him on.
Wow.
One of his later alleged victims, Geronda Pace, who would regularly skip school to be among the supporters, says that this is where she met and connected with him.
Wow.
Imagine being on trial for this and then still like literally scooping up little girls on the steps of the courthouse.
Yeah, man, these fucking guys, they do that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking Billy McFarland was like on trial for fraud, committing fraud,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Yeah. He basically spends the next several years doing business as usual, touring, recording, getting Grammy nominations, collabing with several huge artists, Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Bruno Mars, all people who should know fucking better. Apparently, he did a song with Phoenix, which I like Phoenix, and I thought I followed them kind of closely, and I didn't know that this song existed.
yeah, I forgot about that Lady Gaga song. That was a bop.
Yeah, now, okay, here's a life hack. If you want to listen to that Lady Gaga song, there's a version with Christina Aguilera.
Oh,
Yeah,
cute.
so you can still listen to that song. I think it's called Do What You Want With Your Body. Do What You Want
Yeah.
With My Body.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, which is also, Gaga did a song called Do What You Want With My Body with fucking R. Kelly.
Yeah.
All right, anyway. He also released his memoir, Soulacoaster.
I love
Listen,
his ability to name shit is just like
yes,
it's so
chef's
good.
kiss.
Yeah.
Listen, I hate R. Kelly, but if you think I don't appreciate a memoir called Soulacoaster, you got me fucked up.
That's the best.
This
name
shit is
ever.
hilarious.
Oh my god. You know what I was thinking about when this shit was going down and I was going to tweet it and then I was like, I don't know.
What?
But Aziz Ansari tying himself to some problematic men.
Oh yeah, true,
The way
true.
he kind of like idolized R. Kelly
Yep.
and Kanye in his stand-up, his early
Yep.
stand-up.
We should have known.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think we need to cancel. We shouldn't cancel Aziz, but I want Aziz to do better. Like, and maybe learn from this, and maybe help other men realize, like, hey, maybe I was doing some shitty shit.
Yeah.
But he seems to be doing the opposite.
Is he? I don't even know what. I know he's on tour. I haven't heard any of his new
He's
jokes.
doing on tour. He's on tour, and a lot of his jokes are like, people take this shit way too seriously. Like, he's trying to be a victim, which I don't like. But anyway, my memoir is going to be called Dramarama.
Oingo boingo.
Fuck Oingo Boingo.
One day we'll let you guys know.
Anyway, so Kels is going through some easy years on his Soulacoaster when he. By the way, we.
I hate you. Soulacoaster of love.
Say what?
Soulacoaster.
By the way, notice that I didn't say he wrote a memoir. No. Notice that earlier
He drew that shit. He drew little pictures. That's fucked up.
Notice that earlier when I was talking about what he said in his memoir, I said he said in his memoir.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's, like I said, easy years on his Soulacoaster when on July 17th, 2017, BuzzFeed publishes an expose shining a new light on his alleged abuses and informing. Also, I want to say that this BuzzFeed article was written by one of the original Chicago Sun-Times guys. So like I said, like...
This is weird that you bring this up. Did you see BuzzFeed just laid off a bunch of their news reporters?
Yep, 11% of the staff.
Why?
How are they making money?
Yeah,
you know?
Too many people, huh?
Yeah, it's too many people. Their content, I mean, like, how are you making money off of a fucking quiz?
Yeah.
You know? So, like I said, this co-written by Chicago Sun-Times guy. So this guy's literally been on the case for like 20 years.
Yeah, like he sees this shit going down. He's letting the public know.
Yeah. He's been blowing the whistle. Blow the whistle. Okay. So the BuzzFeed article is talking about his old abuses, of course, and informing the world that he is now a leader of a sex cult, which has separated several young girls from their families.
Wow.
If you haven't already, go back and listen to our episode on Gloria Trevi. It's called Humongo, because the sex cult gives me a lot of Trevi vibes.
Yeah.
This story drops in July of 2017, so just a few months before the Harvey Weinstein story drops in October.
Wow.
So basically, the Me Too movement is picking up steam, which is great because maybe now the story can get some attention from a new set of woke eyes.
Right.
So within the cult, which at the time of the BuzzFeed story was alleged to be made up of R. Kelly and 6 women, R. Kelly allegedly controlled and continues to control, because some women are still in it, every aspect of their lives. He tells them when and if they can go to eat, go to the restroom, shower, sleep, speak, contact their families, all while essentially being his sex slaves. He often records their sexual activity and holds it over their heads, threatening to expose the footage. He also allegedly would beat the women and threaten violence against their families. The story includes testimony from Kitty Jones and Asante McGee, who were former members of the cult that had managed to escape. I don't want to go into too much detail because I think you should absolutely hear the story straight from the mouths of the victims, since so many of them are speaking out now, and I know how much courage that takes. So if you're interested, definitely watch Surviving R. Kelly. So the story gets a lot of attention, and people really are, for the first time in earnest, having a real discussion about what it means to support R. Kelly and his music. However, it also exposes the fact that a not insignificant portion of the population does not give a fuck and will continue to stand by this man in spite of the allegations made against him.
Right.
In July of 2018, R. Kelly releases a 19-minute song called I Admit, which is basically the song version of that O.J. Simpson book, If I Did It. Here are some of the lyrics.
I never listened to this.
Oh, I didn't listen to it. I mean,
19 minutes? God damn.
Yeah. I tried to like skip through some of it when it first came out. I was like, I'm not listening to this shit.
Yeah. Hey, we really Soulacoastered through Trapped in the Closet, huh?
Yeah, true. Okay, so here are some of the lyrics from I Admit. Said I'm abusing these women. What the fuck? That's some absurd shit. What is the definition of a cult? What's the definition of a sex slave? Go to the dictionary. Look it up. Let me know. I'll be here waiting. Now I admit I got some girls that love me to pull their hair. Now I admit I got some girls that love me to pull their hair. Now I admit they love me to talk dirty when I pull their hair. Some like me to spank them. Some like to get branded.
Oh.
You've been trying to destroy me for 25 whole years. Turn the world against me, but only God can mute me.
Whoa.
That last line is in reference to the Mute R. Kelly movement. Bobby. So he is really out here.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Has he responded to Surviving R. Kelly?
Get into it.
Okay.
In April of 2018, R. Kelly was accused of intentionally and knowingly infecting a former partner with a sexually transmitted disease. In October of 2018, Andrea Kelly says that when they were married, he would physically abuse her and at times had hogtied her to her bed and just left her there indefinitely.
Oh my God.
She said when she read some of the accounts of abuse from some of the survivors of the sex cult, she knew she had to come forward because some of the things that he'd done to them sounded verbatim like some of what he'd done to her.
Wow.
On January 3rd, 2019, Lifetime began airing a docuseries called Surviving R. Kelly, in which over 50 of his friends, family, colleagues, journalists, and most importantly, victims tell the stories of the abuse that R. Kelly has been allowed to continue to inflict over decades. It exposes the complicity of the media and the music industry in sweeping the abuse under the rug. In early December, about a month before the series begins airing, a preview screening of the program and panel discussion featuring several of Kelly's accusers in Manhattan is evacuated after multiple anonymous threats are called in to the venue.
Holy shit.
Chance the Rapper appears in the series' final episode and apologizes for having worked with R. Kelly on multiple occasions in recent years, despite the common knowledge of the accusations against the singer.
Chance the Rapper has problems.
And I don't like how he's like holier than thou.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
The president said thank you to you, bro. You're canceled.
Yeah. So they kind
Plus you
of
dress like Mario, Super Mario Brothers.
I never noticed that. He does, huh?
Yeah, it fucking bothers me.
Oh. Does he ever wear a red cap? We gotta find a picture of it. Okay. So in that final episode, they show a clip of him, like in a previous interview, making a statement about this. And it was really controversial because he says that he and others have probably ignored the allegations because they came from Black women and girls.
What?
But I feel like that's absolutely the truth.
Yeah.
I think that this is a glaring example of who in our society matter, quote unquote, and like who don't.
Right.
And it's clear that, Black women and girls don't matter. Women of color will always be like the lowest on the totem pole. And, off topic, and I might, maybe not for the podcast, but I always think about how the rate at which trans women of color are being murdered. Like,
yeah,
I want to say that it's like 30% of out trans women of color are murdered.
People don't think of them as even human.
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
Don't give a fuck about them.
So it's fucking bullshit. And then was it last week the Supreme Court said that trans people can't serve in the military? Like that's dehumanizing people who are already, like you said, like not looked at as human.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're just trying to survive and like living their normal lives. It's fucking bullshit.
Also, do we need to be turning people away from the military? That always pisses me off.
True.
Let them do it. I don't want to fucking do it. Whoever the fuck wants to serve our country, thank you for that. Yeah. That's amazing.
It's less than 1%, I think, of the population that serves in the military. Like,
are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Let them do. You know how much money you'd have to pay me for me to put my life on the line?
Like billions, because I'm not doing that shit.
I would never do that shit ever. You must be crazy.
Thank you for your service. So after the series began airing, Chance elaborated on Twitter. Chance with the notes app apology.
Oh my gosh.
Although
he did?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like he just said the truth. Like anyway.
Yeah.
So he said, quote, "The truth is any of us who ever ignored the R. Kelly stories or ever believed he was being set up / attacked by the system, parentheses, as Black men often are, were doing so at the detriment of Black women and girls. I apologize to all his survivors for working with him and for taking so long to speak out."
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it.
Me either.
Gaga, for her part, at that time refused to comment, notably at the Golden Globes because she's chasing that Oscar.
Yeah, I did see that Gaga backlash.
Yeah.
Because it's true, like she's screaming at the top of her lungs that she's like, a survivor herself and she
Mm-hmm.
stands with survivors and
Right.
that women need to have a voice and we need to believe victims and then you're not gonna and then you're just gonna be quiet? Like
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
that?
yeah,
What
exactly.
the hell is that?
No, 100%. Okay.
If you're
As-
gonna talk the talk, you better walk the walk, girl.
which she seemingly does
Yeah.
regularly, but then like
This is like a really important time
Yeah,
though. This
yeah.
like really matters.
As public pressure continues to mount against him, many of his fans are still loyal. He continues to tour, and his songs are still available on streaming services.
Yeah.
His management put out a statement that claims, this is the statement in response to the
Surviving R.
documentary,
Kelly. Uh-huh.
that claims that all of this is, quote, the attempted lynching of a black man who has made extraordinary contributions to our culture.
Oh wow, that's an angle right there.
P.S. Can we stop using lynching as an
Yeah.
analogy? Like, there are people who are literally actually lynched, like, because
Yeah.
people don't want to play your fucking music or don't want to go to your like stupid movie. Like, you're not being lynched.
Yeah. Ooh, that's an angle. That's a vibe.
That is a vibe.
Fuck.
Indeed. On January 9th, activists protested in Chicago, pressuring police to open an investigation into the ongoing abuse
Cult,
allegations
right?
against R. Kelly.
Don't some of the girls' dads speak out? Like they can't get their daughters?
Yeah, but the thing is that the girls in the cult, at least the ones we know about, are of age. I think some are like 18, 19, some are even like well into their 20s.
Right.
So
and
it's
they're brainwashed.
So it's kind of
they're-
like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like you can't take them away. But yeah, in Surviving R. Kelly, a couple of the parents do speak and are trying to get there. It's really sad. They're like desperately trying to get their kids out.
That's crazy.
And so this is January 9th. Lady Gaga finally released a statement, which, I mean, I'm glad that she did, but,
Too late.
yeah. And also I have mixed feelings about like the making women answer for men's behavior,
I think they're trying to make her answer for her behavior.
Oh,
that
yeah,
she worked
yeah.
with him.
That's true.
Yeah.
But she writes in part, quote, I stand behind these women 1000%. As a victim of sexual assault myself, I made both the song and video at a dark time in my life. My intention was to create something extremely defiant and provocative because I was angry and still hadn't processed the trauma that had occurred in my own life. I think it's clear how explicitly twisted my thinking was at the time.
Okay.
I don't want to criticize her experience as a survivor, but I mean, my first, I'm just being real, and I'm probably wrong on this, but my first instinct was that's a cop out. Like you're shielding.
Well, that's like saying like you're lynching me. Like you're kind of like
mm-hmm.
playing the victim to
Mm-hmm.
get sympathy rather than just like own up to it.
Right. If anybody has any thoughts on that, like hit us up. I would be interested to hear what anyone has to say about that. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's hard for her to speak out because she's a survivor.
Yeah.
It's hard for her to talk about that stuff.
True, because then she has to go through her own trauma to...
Yeah.
Yeah. The next day, so this is January 10th, I think. The next day, R. Kelly's estranged daughter, Buku Abby, responded to the docuseries on her Instagram, calling her father a, quote, monster. Quote, devastated is an understatement for all that I feel currently. I pray for all the families and women who have been affected by my father's actions. Wow. It has been years since my siblings and I have seen or have spoken to him.
Wow.
My mother, siblings, and I would never condone, support, or be a part of anything negative he has done and or continues to do in his life. Going through all I have gone through in my life, I would never want anyone to feel the pain I have felt. The same monster you all are confronting me about is my father. I'm well aware of who and what he is.
Holy shit.
I feel so horrible for that family.
Yeah, that's awful.
Andrea was saying that she was in tears towards the end of the documentary. She was like, I will never forgive him for what he's done to our family. The fact that our kids have to go to school and have people yell like your daddy's a rapist.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. Spotify, Apple Music, and Pandora announced that they would stop featuring him and his music on playlists, spotlights, and compilations But of course, his music is still available on the platforms.
Yeah.
R. Kelly has sold over 75 million records and is still known as the king of R&B.
Wow.
And on January 18th, 2019, exactly 1 week ago, he was dropped by his record label RCA, which was hopefully a big step towards ultimately and finally muting R. Kelly.
Hell yeah.
That's a bummer.
That's a bummer, but that's a real important story. Good job, May. Fuck that
Thank
fool.
you. Yeah, fuck him. And fuck his little supporters too. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're assholes. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. That was this week's Drama Club episode.
Yeah, very dramatic this week, guys. As always, let us know if you have any thoughts.
Email us. Check out our website, dramaclubpod.com. Hit us up on Insta and Twitter at dramaclubpod.
Write a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Hit us on the hotline, 505-539-0556. And that's it. We'll talk to you on Monday with an Afternoon Delight episode.
Bye.
Bye.
However, whatever with your helmet.